All right, everybody, we are going live. Kevin Allen is supposed to be joining us. He hopefully be here in a second. And we're going to start on time. So, although they're one should be 1 minute late, but we are here. All right, nobody on yet. Come on, everybody, let's go. Where's Lorraine? Let's go. Where's Mimsy? Where's everybody? Ira? Oh, by the way, Ira left me a message too about we didn't have a show last Thursday. I did a show by myself last Wednesday, correct? Yeah. So I figured if I do another show by myself, there wasn't anybody going on with me on Thursday, so I just figured we didn't need to do another show. But we'll make sure we get that back going again. I probably will not be doing a show tomorrow afternoon or do a show in the morning with Rich Caberti, but the crew will be over here with Thanksgiving dinner. So by 2 o'clock tomorrow, there will be a couple of margaritas that will be had by then. Ira, what's happening, brother? I was just gonna say I love you too, but I don't know if I can do that or not. I don't know. So again, Kevin is supposed to be joining us any second here, so we'll get rolling. So it'd be interesting tonight. New Jersey is in. Oh no, Toronto's in New Jersey. So New Jersey's got 13 straight going. Toronto's a pretty good team, but they're banged up a little bit too. Jill, Mimsy, how is everybody doing? Everybody all set? So everything's all set for the menu today. So we'll be doing the cooking the pies. It'll be a homemade apple pie, homemade raspberry pie. Get shrimp cocktail. I make my own little dipping sauce. Very healthy. There's no sugar or salt or anything in the dipping sauce. So we saute up or we roast up tomatoes, peppers, garlic. Saute up some onion. Put a little what was it? Capers are going in there. Some apple cider vinegar, and then we put that in the blender. Blend it all up. Then put a can of crushed tomatoes and a can of tomato paste. So it can double really as a ketchup or a dipping sauce for shrimp. So very healthy. No salts or sugars in there. Now, look at who is here. Well. That's a deep subject. No, friends. Well, it's Thanksgiving here, Larry, in case you didn't know. So we will not be having a show tomorrow afternoon. The family will be over. We'll be probably one margarita deep at 2 o'clock. Yeah, probably one big one. So the menu tomorrow: shrimp with a homemade dipping sauce, big shrimp. Just get it frozen at Costco. I do mine in the air fryer now, and then make that up. We then make so we get sweet potato chips. They're nice, pretty healthy. They're not perfect, but they're pretty healthy, and some cheese. And then we have what else do we have? Oh, then the bad thing is it's kind of a family traditional. We get some Ruffles potato chips, and then we have a homemade dip that we make. It's got the Lipton onion soup mix and sour cream, so that's not too dietetic. But all right, Kevin's here. We are live. Kevin's supposed to be saying anything. We're live, Kevin. So you know.
Yep. Thank you.
I knew you would know. You're a professional at this. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So, everything going well?
Yep, very good, very good. Yeah, we're just going over the menu for tomorrow. So.
Oh, okay. Well, let's start off the hockey. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but one of your favorite hockey players, Mr. Skinner, Jeff Skinner in Buffalo, had a 5-point night.
I saw that. Yes.
So he must have. Yep. Exactly. You believe he turns it off and on, so he must have wanted to be on last night. I guess.
Definitely. Yeah, that's his MO. How about the other team that we got going too? The Vegas Golden Knights. They're on fire too, aren't they? Wow.
Yeah, although they've lost a couple of games that I thought I was kind of surprised at. The Sharks beat them a little while back as well. But and Buffalo last night. I watched that. Tage Thompson had 8 shots on goal. Yeah. Excuse me. And I think some people believe that it's easy to get shots on goal, but I think it's hard.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the way they block shots now. And
he's like third in the league now, and with 92 shots on goal, and he's had a bunch of multiple point games. He's certainly in the top 10 scoring. I think he's a real player now, after last season.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely. How about the real player? Who is Erik Karlsson? Is he the Erik Karlsson of this year or the Erik Karlsson of like the last 2 or 3 years?
Well, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it's always about opportunity.
Right.
Brent Burns is gone. So
Yeah.
now Carlson is back on as the number one power play guy. He's the guy leading the deal,
Right.
leading the attack. I mean,
So,
it's
do you think they're better off then with Brent Burns gone and now Carlson playing the way he's playing? Do you think they're a better team? Do you think they're in a better position?
well, I mean, but they don't have Burns. I mean, he's just
Right.
replacing Burns. Like, in sports, I mean, there can only be one guy.
Yeah. That's
And
why I always thought that was that move to bring Carlson in when they already
yeah,
had Burns. I thought that was kind of strange, but
yeah, especially when they both, at least offensively, do the same things.
yeah, exactly. They're pretty, the same kind of player, totally. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least in terms of their offense. Obviously, Burns brings kind of a fierceness
Yeah.
to him, to the team. You and I sort of wondered whether the Sharks were going to be a little better this season, and then they started out poorly. But I've watched them a couple of games, and they do have the ability to step up and bite you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Especially with Carlson playing at the level he is. Although I think it's silly that I keep seeing on all these telecasts, they're kind of talking about, will Carlson be moved and what kind of package?
Yeah.
Package. The Sharks aren't going to get anything for Carlson even if they were able to trade him, which is doubtful to me.
Well, you don't think if he gets back to playing the way he was before, the way he's playing now, you don't think anybody would take him on?
I do think someone might take him on, but they're not giving anything up.
Right.
They're going to demand that Sharks pay half the. You can't take an $11 million player in today's game.
Yeah. How many years do you have left on that? 3
4.
or 4 years? 4 years left on it? Wow.
So so the idea that the Sharks are going to say, well, we're going to want a first round pick, and that's ludicrous in my mind.
Really? So you're right. Because who can fit in the $11 million salary, right? And you're going to do it if you're a contending team. You're not going to do it if you're Detroit, right? Correct. Kevin's frozen up here. So we're talking about Erik Karlsson in San Jose there. So a team like Detroit would not do it, right? Doesn't make sense. They're not a contending team. You'd only take him on if you're
no, and they wouldn't do it anei. They wouldn't
Right.
take $11 million, even if they were a contending team.
Right.
They just wouldn't do that. Yzerman historically kind of fights for every nickel.
Right.
I mean, the fact that Larkin and Bertuzzi aren't signed kind of says it all.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Stamkos going to go to free agency, so they would be one of the least likely teams to do it. I don't see anybody taking that contract on, even with Carlson playing as well as he is. Just because it's 4 years now. If it's 1 year, like I had a general manager tell me, a team can take 1 year on always, So, but 4 years at 11,
and you're taking a little bit of a gamble because he did have a couple of rough years there too, right? Now he's playing back, and you said maybe it's just because Burns is gone now, but for a couple of seasons there, he was really underperforming, especially based on that $11 million a year salary too. So
yeah. So not only that, like even if they paid 50%, and to be honest, are the Sharks better off paying, doing half salary and still taking on 5.75? Would they even do that?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They're kind of stuck with him, right? Because especially he's playing that well. If you take him out of the lineup now, you're right, and you're still paying half the salary. And if you're not really going to get anything, then why make the trade if you're San Jose?
Well, especially when you're not going to get anything,
right?
Like I can see the Sharks saying, "Well, we'll take half the salary, but you got to give us a first round pick and a second and a third." And the other team's going to say, "We're doing you a favor by taking even $5.75 million."
So you don't think so? Erik Karlsson, the way he's playing now at $5 or $6 million, you don't think he's worth that?
Well, I think they are, but I think it's special circumstances. I mean, we've been talking now for a year about there's no money left in the cap. I mean, I saw somebody had statistics out of how much money is actually out there, and it's non-existent.
Right.
The problem is, and I saw it might have been a GM or somebody pointed out that, we are always naive when we say, well, the long-term IR will help. But the problem is that you get that for a year, but then you have to face that going forward. You're still dealing with that for 3 years.
Yeah.
And someone pointed out that we're at 90. I forgot what it was now. 93, 94% capacity, something like that.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
So isn't Muzzin for Toronto? He's out for the year, isn't he, with the cervical thing?
Yeah.
So but then, there's talk about him maybe having to retire.
Yeah.
So would that make sense? Is that the spot where potentially Carlson could go?
I think that would be a ridiculous thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I say that only because I wrote a story on this morning. They spend 66% of their money on at forward, and $40 million on 4 players.
I know.
So that's 49% of their salary. They pay about 23% of their thing goes to defense now. And the problem is, though, and this is an interesting thing. I want to get your take on this, because salary isn't always reflective of the how good the defense is. It's just an indicator.
Yep.
But if you're paying your defense $25 to $30 million, it's probably, and I say probably because not always, Carlson and Burns, for example, were both past their prime, but it's a good indication. The Boston Bruins have one of the highest paid defenses, and their defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think it's an indicator. But anyway, the Toronto Maple Leafs, who don't have one of the top defenses, now have $18 million defensemen on the sidelines.
Wow.
Brody's out, Riley's out now 4 to 6 weeks.
Saw that, yeah.
Muzzin out indefinitely, maybe forever. And now when they play the Devils tonight, their salary cap hit on their 6 defensemen is $7 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess the Devil team is on fire too, right? The way they're playing.
Against the Devils team that has a $9 million defenseman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So their entire defense makes less than Dougie Hamilton.
So let's make up a Toronto trade for Carlson then. So they'd have to make room, right? Like maybe would they move a Mitch Marner to get Carlson? I'm not saying that San Jose is going to take Mitch Marner back, but maybe they have to move Mitch Marner someplace else to make the cap space.
I just don't think they would do that. I don't think he's the answer. I mean, it just seems,
here's a Toronto team, though, that a lot of people, including me, and I think you did as well, pick them as one of the teams contending to win the cup.
Sure.
So now, it's not their fault that they have all the injuries to defensemen, but, they've got those guys under contract, those high-end guys like Marner and Matthews. But if you don't have a defense that's good enough to win, although think back to Pittsburgh there a few times when they won 2 cups in a row, they didn't have a great defense either. I remember saying publicly that I didn't think they could win because the defense wasn't good enough, but then they learned how to win, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the case with Toronto, that even though they have that defenseman, those defensemen aren't that good and in low budget, but they got so many good forwards. Because if the forwards are playing well defensively, they can really cover up for inexperienced defensemen too.
Yeah, I mean, haven't you always sort of felt that that's sort of part of the problem in Toronto? Like, their defense, maybe it's not all-star caliber, but it would be good enough if their forwards were better defensively.
100%. Like you talked about Malkin the other day, and we talked about Crosby and how many times they've won. And those guys are very responsible defensively. Yes, they're dynamic offensive players, but they're very responsible in their own end as well. And I agree with you. I would not look at Matthews and Marner as 2 guys that are, they're not awful defensively, but I wouldn't put them out there like, obviously Patrice Bergeron is the best, maybe 2-way forward out there. But
I think Matthews is underrated.
I
think he works at it.
Right.
I think Marner is a different story, but anyway, that's just my take on it. I don't see them doing Carlson. I don't think it makes sense. Based on what we're hearing, and I say that having read what Elliot Friedman wrote and a few others, it sounds like they're going to go. Again, I think they're looking at it from, pretty soon we'll have Morgan Riley back. Brody's going to be back. Now there's $12 million.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going out to get a Carlson even at $5.75 million.
Right.
Just
because then we'd have to move one of those forwards, right? So now
sure.
they're
You'd have to move somebody.
yeah.
So and then I mean, the reason that team is good is those 4 offensive players. So
yeah, very true.
So
but geez, it looks they'll probably make the playoffs, right? But what if they get beat out in the first round again? Is that it for Carl?
yeah, well, if they get beat out again, I think you got to do something drastic.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. But and I don't know that there is some stuff, we'll call it, going on in that Atlantic Division. Like, it's not, Detroit's in a playoff spot. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Detroit's in a playoff spot.
Very true.
So I don't know. You can't be too careful there. Well, Florida is struggling too. So
and Philly's struggling now too, right? They've dropped down in the standings. Washington's out of it. So that's the thing then. So, okay, what does Toronto have to do? Obviously win the cup and those guys all keep their jobs. But if they get beat out in the first or second round, do you think Dubas and Keefe, the coach, are in trouble?
Well, I guess so. But I think if they win the first round, I think it would take a lot of the pressure off. I mean, what is it, 5 years, something like that?
Yeah. But still, the expectations, yes, again, those defensemen are hurt, so that weakens the team. But in the Muzzin, I think the Muzzin injury really hurts a lot too, right? They brought him in. Yeah, they needed that kind of player. They went and got him, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
So look at that team now. Then are they a team that can make it to? So they win one round, and that's going to be acceptable? I guess they haven't won in so long. Maybe they're just people getting used to it. But I think the expectations from management and everything there is that that's a contending team, right?
Yeah, no, I think they're under pressure to win. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And these injuries really, it kind of changes everything. But I started to say that Elliot Friedman and others have suggested that they're going to go like a little piecemeal. There was the talk of Connor Timmins, who they know real well, who hasn't found his way in Arizona. They think, they could kind of grow him into a serviceable, defensive-minded defenseman with a little bit of offensive ability. I mean, people say that they need better defense, pure defense. So maybe
and that's right. Again, they went and got Muzzin for that purpose, and now he's
right.
gone. So
right.
Right.
I wanted to go over. I've got a list of five goalies here. I feel like Joseph McCarthy, and I have a list of communists right here. So 1950 style. And I'm going to say the name, and I want you to tell me whether you believe in him or not.
Okay.
You believe he's the answer.
Yeah.
With the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mr. Murray.
No. Too inconsistent.
With the Edmonton Oilers, Mr. Jack Campbell.
He's like, I'd like him, but I'd have to say the same thing. I don't know if he's the answer. No, I'd say no because he's inconsistent.
Yep. With the Washington Capitals, Darcy Kemper.
I don't see as much inconsistency with him, so I'll say yes, he is the answer.
Yeah, well, I won a cup last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is one I find really fascinating. Vitek Vanacek, New Jersey Devils.
I don't know as much about him, but you know what? Just based on the way that team is going, I'm going to say yes, he is the answer.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's won 10 in a row.
Yeah.
Georgiev from the Colorado Avalanche.
I do. I think he's the answer. I liked him when he was here. He didn't get a raw deal here in New York. It's just that Shesterkin was there ahead of him. So yeah, I do like Georgiev. Yep.
And then Husso for the Red Wings, now in his second consecutive year of playing good hockey.
Yes. Yes. And it's funny that one of the reasons I don't know him as well, but one of the reasons I do believe in him, I think that Steve Yzerman has done a fantastic job in his career as a general manager. So if he's picking these players to bring in and he's got him playing, then I just believe in his ability to find players.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I wanted to bring this up because I know you're a believer in this, that it's not as a big a deal. The Red Wings have now with Gus Lindstrom coming back, they have 8 defensemen on their roster. But Lindstrom was hurt for a while. And Jordan Eberle, who hadn't played much, or Jordan Osterley. Eberle playing defenseman.
There you go.
Yeah, Jordan Osterley, who hadn't played much, kind of drew in and played several games. He's playing on his offhanded defense.
Right. He's
+7. And it's a legitimate +7. They played better. That third pairing wasn't very good. and now the third pairing with Jake Wallman and him has been very good. And as I watched him play, because in the modern game, we just don't like that. We don't like it at all. Coaches don't like having.
I know.
And he's playing there. And just yesterday, Newsy Lalone, Newsy said that made a lot of him for playing on his off defensive side and performing pretty consistently. So there you go.
I know. So the old school. Again, the game is so different too. I had this conversation with James Patrick, who's coaching up with Winnipeg Ice in the Western Hockey League, and he explained to me why. And we basically had the same opinion. So when we played, you could hook and hold. So if a guy went down the boards on you, and if you're on your offside, you could turn and hook him. You really got control of him that way. And then we had more room in the neutral zone, so it went to pass. And James explained now that the game is so fast and the back checking is so good in the neutral zone that off defenseman, he either has to make a backhand pass across the ice, or he has to turn, try to pass the puck across the ice if he's carrying the puck up the ice and is offside. And that's really hard to do. So that's why he explained, again, the hooking and holding is gone, so that advantage is gone. And then that speed through the neutral zone with the back checkers really doesn't give the defenseman time to turn and make that forehand pass, or else he's got to pass it backhand, which is a more difficult thing to do. So,
yeah.
I wouldn't have thought it was that big of a deal, but apparently, and it makes sense to me now having James explain that is a tougher thing to do.
Yeah, and I know. I mean, coaches, it is a big deal. Coaching staffs just don't like it. I'm not saying they won't do it, because there are guys who do it and are pretty comfortable. And actually, there are guys, there are left-hand shots who prefer playing on the right side.
Yeah. And it's interesting because more left-handed shots can play on the offside. It seems like the right-handed shots have a harder time playing on the left side for whatever reason.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too. So anyway, I want to go back to the goalies because I think you and I are in agreement on most of these. I don't trust Murray. I'm a little more bullish on Campbell, even though he really has disappointed me this season.
Right.
Kemper, I do believe in. I think he is a consistent player. Vanacek, I was not a believer last season, but you can't argue with this year's results. Georgiev, I'm a little more worried than you are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Yuso, I do believe. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you, I had a discussion with an NHL person who was talking about, and we weren't actually talking about Shesterkin, we were talking about Sorokin, and he just made the point that. He said, I'm not sure that I would take Sorokin over Shesterkin, but I would say that I've seen both of them this season, and Sorokin is better this year.
Yes, so far, yes.
Yeah, and he said, and I thought, and then when he was telling me that, I was thinking that, that was like last year. I really like Vasilevsky, but Shesterkin was better than Vasilevsky this season.
And I think just recently, Shesterkin is now getting back to his game. He had a good game last night, I think. Yeah. So, So there's no question he had not been playing the way he was playing last year. And Sorokin's good, yeah.
It reminds me of when I was growing up. I was sort of very analytical about my sports, and I knew I was going to be a sports writer, and the way I looked at things, and I started to see baseball starting pitchers as like you can identify who the good pitchers are. But the number of wins they had from year to year, season to season, they could be anywhere from, if they were really good, 15 or 16 to 24 or 25 or 23. There was always like a variation. And I always kind of thought, that was the luck factor. And I think that applies a little bit with goaltenders. I don't know if I'd call it a luck factor, but there are variables in terms of how good your defense is.
Yep.
All those kinds of things that, even if we identify you as a quality goaltender, we can't automatically predict like what kind of save percentage or GAA you're going to have, because a lot of that is a team. Save percentage can really be viewed as a sort of a team.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So
that consistency with goaltenders, I can't remember if it was like that in the past or not. It seems that's the thing. Like Shesterkin had that great year last year. Vasilevsky had a good year, maybe subpar for him, but still a really good year. It can seem like most of those games that they played were always the same. They'd rise their game up to their best level. Now, they obviously had some bad games, but it's the players like it's the Campbells and those guys and Murray that they just when they play well, they're good goaltenders. But then they have so many games or stretches of games where they just don't put
Yeah.
it all together.
Yeah, I think the difference to me, like you want a goalie that even when he's bad,
Yeah.
he's okay.
Yeah,
You know,
like you
you
think
know.
Marty Brodeur, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Totally.
Because there are guys in this league who, when they're bad, they're very bad.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know,
Yep.
you know. So, and that's what you want. And you want the guy that even if he's given up 4 goals because it's been a bad night, that he's fighting to prevent that fifth. You know,
Definitely.
so.
And you know the next game he's going to come back and probably play well, right? Maybe play better because he's got that fire to him. Some guys lose their confidence, and that one bad game turns into 4 or 5 bad games. That's the thing to me as a coach that I mean, not sure. Okay, you're going to have a bad night. That happens.
Yeah.
But, limited to the one night.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you talked about your Turkey Day preparation before I got here?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about the menu. Yeah, we got the shrimp cocktail going. Now, we made our homemade dipping sauce, which is no salt or sugars in it. It's all we roasted up peppers and onions and garlic and tomatoes, mix that all together. A little apple cider vinegar in there, put it all in the blender. Oh, some capers in there as well. And then add a can of crushed tomatoes and tomato paste. Put that all in the blender. And
This is for your shrimp?
That's for the shrimp cocktail, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Okay.
so no sugars or salt in there. Now, the one part that it's a tradition. So we get to that sour cream dip with the Lipton onion soup mix in there and the Ruffles. Oh, not good, but
Yeah.
got to do it. And then what's that? Little cheese and crackers. We have sweet potato crackers, and then the rest of the menu is the mashed potato stuffing, turkey, homemade gravy. Oh God, I'm getting fired up.
Yeah. So you're a big fan of turkey.
Oh yeah, huge fan of turkey. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have it twice a year, so Christmas and Thanksgiving. We contemplated having it another time, but then we thought, oh, geez, if we have it more, then maybe we're just going to love it as much. But you're not a big.
I was just reading a story about Thanksgiving tradition, and there's been a lot of things. I think we've even talked about it on the show that have gone out of style since we were little kids. I brought it up too that I read a story where they've talked to Dairy Queen and stuff, and like Sundays have gone out of style.
Is that right? Oh.
Yeah, younger people prefer blizzards and
that's true.
Those kinds of things, and spaghetti dinners once a week, which used to be a staple.
Yeah, that's right. We did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't do that anymore
really?
because So you think, well, one of the things they're noting is that turkey is kind of falling out of favor.
Wow.
That not as many people now in my family it's even happened, and not just with the vegetarians. My son just over time has just said, no, I'm just not a turkey guy.
Is that right? Hey,
Yeah. And they had some numbers, and the 75% of the people said yes, they're still fine with turkey on Thanksgiving. 25% no.
Okay.
We're done with that. So
yeah, but I remember it used to be just an automatic. Almost everybody.
Yeah, for sure. But of those 75%, some said, I wouldn't mind, mixing it up. No.
Okay. What would you do instead? Like a ham or something like that?
A ham. It's kind of like at Christmas time when I was growing up, it was either ham or turkey.
Oh, okay.
But in the old days, turkeys used to be like the giveaways. Like, I grew up in Michigan, so there's a lot of auto factories, and the Christmas bonus was always a turkey. Like every union guy got a frozen turkey, and all the bowling leagues would give turkey to the high scorer on each game. Yeah. So there was always there was multiple free turkeys in my family.
Right. Now, how about on Thanksgiving, especially when the football's on? Did you have the TV trays that you bring out and eat off the TV trays? So you watch?
No, we always. My Aunt Frances would kind of host Thanksgiving, and she would, and I can still hear her voice. She'd poke her head in the living room because she liked to time Thanksgiving dinner for halftime of the Lions.
Yeah, that's right.
She'd say, "Bud, you got to let me know when there's 2 minutes to go." And then she'd have it all, and it'd be perfectly timed, and we'd always be a little late coming back for the third quarter, but that was
that's cool.
We
had the TV trays going. Yeah, maybe the foldable trays and everything else.
Yeah, I certainly remember those, but not for Thanksgiving. So
Susan, don't tell me you have pizza for Thanksgiving, please. Come on, that's just not right.
Yeah, I had Mexican food 2 years ago. Was it? I think it was 2 years
Oh,
ago.
right.
I went to my son's house,
Oh,
and
sweet.
they did not do turkey. They had homemade enchiladas and
Oh,
beans and rice, and you
oh,
know,
wow. Yeah. Hmm. Well,
just the way it went.
how about pies? Like I make an apple pie and a raspberry pie. Do you guys have the pies too?
We have pumpkin cheesecake that my daughter makes.
Oh, wow. Pumpkin
So
cheesecake. Wow. Interesting.
I'm going to tell you though, my son told me at his wife's family, I really think this is the coolest thing ever. They have a lot of they have big Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners. So back in the day, his wife's family, they'd have like 30 people over. All the families and kids would show up, and everybody started talking about, boy, it'd be nice if we just could like sample the pies. So the grandfather, he basically did that. He sent out like in early November with a spreadsheet, and then you put what kind of pie you'd like to taste, and then he would then order the pies based on, and then everybody you could get a piece of apple pie, a piece of pumpkin pie, and a piece of raspberry pie, all on your plate, and they would be, Shane said, a little bit smaller, but you could then have multiple pies. So
Yeah.
he said, my son said, I'd put like 4 different pies on there, 4 or 5. So, so.
We do that, but we do it with the regular pieces of slices of pie. Yeah, because we go after it pretty hard with the pies. But it's always one of those things too, where you look at it, okay, I'm going to pig out today. I'm going to have all this shrimp cocktail and all that, and then once you get into it, you're kind of like, oh God, I can't eat anymore.
Yeah. We just now. You don't put meat in your stuffing, right?
No, I do not. We chop up saute up some celery and onions, and put some butter in there.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. But years ago, my wife's I don't know why, but she shifted and started adding some sausage to it. I think she heard about it and put that in. But that was long ago when she was not a vegan. So now we do non sausage.
Very good, very good. Just stuffing too. Now, how about leftovers? Do you have a lot of leftovers, or you've had?
Yeah, we do for sure. Yeah, although I did once go to a Thanksgiving dinner. It's the only time it's ever happened where they almost like measure it out. Like everybody got one helping of potatoes, and like when it was done, there was nothing left on the.
That's not right. That should be against the law.
There was like there were like 12 people or 14 people, and that's exactly how many rolls there were.
You've got to be going back, but so no seconds then? Not going back for seconds?
No, there was no seconds.
No, God, that's un-American.
Yeah.
So when you went back for stuffing, if you went back for seconds, excuse me, would you have like a piece of bread, turkey on top, and then gravy, or just go back for seconds? No bread.
No, I would just go back for seconds. Okay, yeah. Right. So I wouldn't do a hot turkey sandwich on Thanksgiving. I do like those though, by the way. So.
Yeah. Back when I was younger, could eat more, so we'd have the dinner first, and then we'd go back later on and have the turkey.
Well, you've got the one thing I think our viewers don't probably understand this, but Tom works out so much he has to consume 4,000 calories.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, this is not like he has to think about it to make sure he gets enough.
Especially when you're fasting. So if you have the first meal of the day at noon and you're going to stop eating at 8,
right?
You got 8 hours to get that over 4,000 calories in. So it's
but he's laughing about it, but it's true. I mean, this guy is a workout fiend. So like I've seen and I know from my own weight loss journey that normally we should all have about 2,000. So Tom needs twice as many calories as all of us because of how much.
It is funny the way you say that too. Yeah, and I figured out before 7 o'clock in the morning, I burned 1,000 calories. So like in the gym for an hour and 15 minutes, and then like a 45-minute march, and that takes usually it's about 1,000 calories. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and that doesn't even take into account living burns calories.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
so I mean, just your everyday, you're just existing. Burns calories. So not enough of them for most of us, but it does indeed, do that. So the sides I've also found that people are all over the board. Like some people don't like stuffing. Some people do not like, gravy. Some people don't like coleslaw.
Yeah. How
Some
about cranberry sauce? You like that?
Yeah, that's another one too. I think I on that list, cranberry was a 50-50 proposition for
Oh,
me.
is that right? Yeah. We
Yeah,
don't have the cranberry sauce. No, we don't do that.
yeah, we do have it.
Right.
Always homemade. It's I never liked it, the gelled thing when I was
Yeah.
a kid,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
do like it when my wife makes it homemade.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, very good. How about
it's
like a sweet potato pie? Did you like that too? Sweet
I
potato
mean
pie?
that's essentially just pumpkin pie in my opinion. With
Oh, I said
the
okay.
yeah, the spices, it's kind of like the Story Stone soup. If you just
Right.
put the same pumpkin spices in
Right.
it,
Right. Right.
and it's kind of a potato-y thing instead of pumpkin. Isn't that
Yeah.
kind of just like pumpkin pie?
Yeah. Very true. Very
So,
true.
but I've had it. But I've had
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Ooh,
So
make me hungry. I gotta go cook right after this too. To make
yeah.
the pie.
Now, do you cook the day before? Or do you do it all in the morning?
I'll do the pies today. I'll do all the dips and everything today. The dipping sauce for the shrimp is already made. I'll make the apple pie and raspberry pie today. So really, just tomorrow will be so it's just the turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
Now, for 4 of you tomorrow,
6 of us,
six
plus
of you.
plus my grandson dog
Oh,
for
okay.
his first Thanksgiving.
So 6 of you. How big a turkey?
20-pound turkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many shrimp cocktail will you have for 6 people?
Ooh, it's the big ones, so it's probably each person. I'm gonna guess is like 25 total shrimps. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
four each.
yeah. And the girls don't eat as much, obviously. My boys like that stuff a lot. Again, it'd be interesting with the dog, because the dog's so cute. It's a little puppy, and they're not feeding any human food, right? They want to make sure he doesn't eat any human food. So the temptation is going to be hard for him tomorrow, but he's cute.
Yeah,
Come
we
in.
we never did either. My pit bull Rocky lived to be 17,
Yeah.
and he was always, unlike me, he was always the perfect weight. Like
Oh, that's
I
all right,
take him to the vet, and the vet would say, "Man, right on the money." Rocky
that's
weighed 52 pounds. That's what he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Every year, but he didn't get people food. Although, there were many. There was the 11 cupcake episode where he got up on the counter and ate 11 lemon.
Oh, did he really?
He ate them paper. He ate them paper and all.
Oh, that's funny. Growing up, we had a dog named Yo-Yo, had 3 legs, got in a fight with a German Shepherd, lost its leg, and then had lived fine like that. We would give the dog regular people food all the time, and she would actually we'd put it on a plate. We spoiled the dog, and the dog would carry the plate over to the dishwasher after she was done with the plate. And everything.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people do. The only reason we didn't is the vet said, how long do you want him to live? Because they certainly love people food.
Yeah, I know. So not even like on a Christmas or Thanksgiving, he wouldn't get any stuff like accidental.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, especially one of the things I always, we just kept track of it.
Right,
we if we were going to give him a little, and my wife liked to pour turkey juice over his food.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's kind of how we did that, but we were always very careful.
Yep. Usual workout tomorrow. Yep. In the gym we leave from the gym at 4:10. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes. Then we'll come back and put the turkey in. We get back. I just get back around 7:15, 7:30. Put the turkey in. Yeah, I'll probably put it in that early. Yeah, because we're going to probably start eating. Like I got a little homemade bar I've got in my kitchen. We just put all the food out. So we eat pretty much throughout the day.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have a sit down dinner?
No. We put the food out and it's every man for himself. Yeah.
Yeah. We always say I told you I double dipped. So I already had one Thanksgiving,
right.
Already last Saturday. And we gather, and then we always go around and say what we're thankful for. And my brother-in-law had one of the more unusual ones, but I thought, wow, he's right on this.
Yeah.
He said, I'm thankful for the opportunity to be thankful. And if you think about that is just the perfect toast.
That is it. Yeah. Is he always like that? Is he pretty profound like that?
I wouldn't say that, but I thought it was a good toast. I mean, a good idea, but that's what he said. And,
that's cool.
And it's funny when, newcomers come over, it's a little rough for them that, people are always a little self-conscious on that. But in my family, we've been doing it for years. So,
right.
I think some people think about it and some don't. So.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah, so what we wrote in Survivor, the first tribe I was on, we were all a bunch of smart Alex, so nobody was doing anything. They were just eating, joking around, giving each other a hard time. Once they had the tribe swap, so now these people from the other tribe are with us. They did that before every meal out there on the island. They wanted to do what we're thankful for, And when they first said it, I thought they were joking around because we were joking around. I made some comment, and they all looked at me like I was some kind of nutcase or something, because they were this is a real serious thing to them. They were really they took their time and really thought about it. Everybody made their little speech and everything.
Yeah, no, for sure. When I was growing up, my aunt's house, I've told my family this story too. Like, you never knew who was going to be at the Thanksgiving table because, like my aunt's kids, like if they met someone at work that didn't have anywhere to go, or one of their friends came home from school and was fighting with their mom, so you'd show up Thanksgiving and there'd always be 2 or 3 people that you had no idea who they were.
Oh, is that right? Wow. I guess that's kind of the it's being thankful for it.
No, I remember it with great fondness, because I sort of whispered to one of the other cousins, like, who's that? So
how about, did you ever have like some people play football, like they won't play football with the family or play hockey or?
Oh, we played for sure. We had an annual game for I don't know, 15 years probably.
Oh, did you? Nice.
We it was mostly with the kids and a mixture of kids and adults, and then everybody got a little older, but we played in some really bad conditions, snow and so it was a big deal. Like, all of our friends used to come together. We had a lot of fun, doing that. So.
Oh yeah, I can smell the turkey right now. Oh God, let's go.
Yeah. Now, the other thing too is, you get up so early, and you've told me, I think, that you're not much of a napper.
No, I don't. I do. Yeah, once in a while, really, I'll nap. But Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But that's what I'm wondering. When you're up that early in Turkey.
Yeah.
That's. What is it? Tripped something.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that true? Is that just a?
Oh no, that's true. What is it, Terry? Tryptophan? Okay.
Oh.
But no, that's for sure.
Okay.
So I just wondered whether, by that second game with Dallas, whether you would just.
Well, especially my boys and the girls will come over probably around 1:00, so we'll eat probably around 2:00, and they'll stay for 3 or 4 hours. So by the time they leave, like it's 5:00. Yeah, that might be a nap tomorrow.
Yeah. So, but what time do you normally go to bed?
You know what? I can go to bed at 11:00, 10:00. I try not to. The thing is now, if I go to bed, I try to go to bed early, like at 9:00 or something like that. I'll wake up at 1:00 in the morning. So now I've gotten so used to just having that 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's time for us to run. I want to wish everyone a great Thanksgiving tomorrow, and hope it's filled full of your friends and family, like mine will be and Tom's will be, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. If you want to read me, I'm still writing at DetroitHockeyNow.com.
Right. And again, same thing from me to everybody out there. I love your family. Have a great time tomorrow. You know what? And even if you're disciplined with your diet, tomorrow's a day to have a little bit of fun with your diet too. So let's go get them. And we'll talk to everybody next Monday.